Hey guys! I hope everyone's doing really good and I had a really nice Diwali break for themselves and got to spend good amount of time with your family and friends and loved ones. So today's video is really special because I've been wanting to share this illustration and the story behind this illustration for a really long time. So I think now it's a good time. So today's podcast is going to be in three parts where I would like to share about freelance work and the ups and downs of it, and this particular project that I worked on with a really special client of mine. So first I'll just give a heads up about this project. So this is a story illustration. If you guys are aware about the Einstein quote, where he quotes, everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. So this is a little fishy called Goldie who jumps out of the water and is trying to climb a tree because she looks at the monkeys above and thinks, hey, why can't I climb? So she starts thinking that she's stupid and everything. And then later, a monk comes in the picture and makes her realize that you're a fish. You have the ability to swim and everything. So it's a really beautiful verse and an explanation of how we always judge our ability based on other people around us, and we degrade ourselves based on their skills and ability, and we sometimes forget the focus of that we are unique and what the talents that we have and the skills that we have the other person does not. So today's conversation is also going to be about on those terms, and how sometimes dealing with negative clients and how sometimes dealing with positive clients affects us as an artist also. So this project, especially this story, was done for Sattvic Movement. It's a really renowned organization, non-profit organization that I worked with for a really long time, and I did extensive projects for them, and I was part of creating these beautiful story illustrations for their modules and their programs, and which was extremely fun, and I loved working with them because I have never dealt with such a positive feedback and positive clients ever. They believed in my artistic instincts and let me take the story the way I wanted to, and I think I was really grateful to work with them. Okay, so now coming to the main topic where I want to talk about and address the conversation about how to deal with certain kind of mindset, certain kind of clients who are really negative for our mental health. And I would like to share a story that I went through. So I was fairly new to the working environment, and because I had just passed out from my college and it was just 6 months when I graduated, and I started working with this spa brand which was based in Mumbai only, and I took up the project because it was referred to me by my family members. So I thought, hey, I could trust them, good working. I was given a heads up that they're a little difficult to work with, but I did not think it was that big of a deal because I trusted my family. Red flag. Don't ever trust anyone because everyone's experience is very different, and you should be very cautious about who you work with and try not to put up with for a really long time. So I started working with them, and it went really smoothly in the start or month and a half, and then it started kind of getting very difficult because the client started having unrealistic expectation, knowing for the fact that I was doing a full-time job. They would expect me to work late in the night, and they would not give me content or anything on correct time. And then it got even more difficult to work with them because this content writer, so it was a team of three: the founder, of the owner of the spa, and me, the designer, and the third person was the content writer, who always thought of herself really highly, like artists don't matter and things don't run if there's no content writing, which is not true. It goes hand in hand. It's a 50-50 give and take process to make any brand sustain or anything, right? So she always degraded me, and a subtle incident happened. There was this Excel sheet that we shared together, and I just moved one content of the cell to another row of a cell, and she just freaked walked out and threatened me, saying, "How dare you? You wait and watch if you do this, that." And I was like, "What's going on?" I really didn't understand that tone, and I felt really taken aback. And I addressed this to the owner as well, and she was like, "Okay, I'll look into it and everything." But nothing really happened, and I was always little looked down upon because I was young also, because I was just 21 at that time, and it was really difficult for me to process or even say no, because I did not know where my boundaries were as an artist and a employee, because yes, I was working with them and I did sign a contract and everything. So cut back to, I still went on with it for a really long time. I put up with it thinking, hey, no, this is how stepping stones are, this is how I'll get my more clientele and everything. And COVID happened, and I just couldn't take it, because even during COVID they were so stressful and so rude, because she always used to compare my work to the other designers, like, you should be doing like her, you should be doing like her. And then if I tried to do, because that's what client wants, she'd be like, no, you're not being original and everything. And it was just very confusing, because half the time she did not know what she wants. And a huge fiasco happened, and I just decided to quit. She did not pay me. She's like, no, I'm not gonna pay you for that particular month. I fought for it. I said I'm gonna go live on social media about this. She threatened me with legal notes and everything, and I was like, okay. Then I told a family member who got me this job, and obviously my family member took her side, because this so-called client was really reputed in the industry and everything, and she did not want to taint her image. So obviously she chose her side, and I guess family doesn't matter. So yeah, it was a very big lesson that I learned in a hard way, that you should not put up with such kind of clients, and put your ground straight and try to get out of certain kind of situations like this as early as possible, because it's gonna hamper your mental health a lot, because it did with me, to a point where I was just dreading to wake up in the morning. And working with them, I used to have constant anxiety whenever my phone beeped, like, holy shit, is it them? And this constant stress and mental trauma is not good, because it's gonna hamper your creativity, because you won't be able to focus or divert your creativity into some other area, even if you try to, right? And that is not a good way to be an artist. It's no fun for you, me, or anyone who is looking at your work. So, and I'm very happy. I call it quits. I didn't care about the money. I was like, it's fine. Money is just a byproduct of the hard work you do. So it will always come and go. And I just always keep saying, everyone, right, that do not put up with certain kind of negative environment, and don't let it hamper you at all. It is not healthy. It does not matter how much money they are paying you or anything, because if you can't be happy with yourself, if you're not excited to wake up in the morning and you dread every time your phone beeps, it's a red flag. It's a huge red flag, and you should not be working with certain kind of people at all, right? Life is too short. You're creative, because your creativity needs to blossom where you feel comfortable and you feel loved. So yes, so always make sure you do not work and do not put up with certain kind of clients like this. But there is always an upside also to be a freelancer, because you'll get to work with such amazing clients also. There was this one client of mine who I worked for with 3 years, and it was amazing. She believed in my creativity 101, always gave me the freedom of doing the way I wanted to create animation, social media posts and everything, and I loved working with her. And even right now for Satvik Movement, I loved working with them. I had the full creative liberty where I got to create the modules, the art style for the illustrations the way I wanted to. And it was such a learning experience, because I feel while creating or doing any kind of work, it should be a give and take process. It may not be always, but 60% of time it should be, where you are giving them your skills, but you should also be learning back from your client. For instance, for this project, I learned so much about myself, also my art style, the amount of time management I learned, and the stories were so beautiful. If you guys would love to know more about the stories, do check out their programs, and I've also put up a lot of stories on my website also. So the link is in the description. You can check it out, the entire stories. And if you want to know more about the stories that I did or how I went about, you can like leave a comment and I can do a separate segment on how I go with the color palettes for the stories and everything. But coming back to the topic of working with good clients also, yes, there will be bad clients, but there all will always be good clients also. And you should always look to the good part working with such amazing clients. And there's always an excitement and there's always a positive feeling when you just meet some new client and you just know it, like it's gonna work out. And whenever you feel like there is a little bit of ickiness, go with that ickiness, because your instincts matter a lot, right? And it's okay to not have clients all the time, because I know there's a constant pressure to be churning out money as a freelancer and having a constant source of income. But that's not always going to be possible. Even me right now, I do not always constantly have freelance projects or anything, right? And whenever they come, cherish it, build a really good reputation and a contact with them so that they'll always remember you and would want to specially come and work with you no matter what. So you should always leave a really good impression for your clients and let your work speak for yourself, right? So this is just how you should start building up reputation for yourself and everything. Now I would like to talk about this project particularly. So this story was, like I said, it's a little expert inspired by Einstein's quote, where the fish and everything. So I had a limited number of slides to be done for this illustration because this particular story was going into a module for their program that they were catering to at that moment. And this story entangles into the conversation that they were delivering in that particular day. So it was like a 7-day program or so, and this was a story for one of their days, and they themselves animated it, and I just had to deliver them the illustrations like slide by slide, and comments and dialogue bubbles were added by me also later. So this is one particular scene where the fish jumps out of the water and gets a little worried, like how to get in water again, but then she looks at the monkeys later and she's like, hey, I should climb tree too, but obviously she's a fish, she cannot. So yeah, that's just a story about how sometimes we judge our ability and everything based on others, which we do that a lot as an artist. Like I know I do a lot, like I get a lot of imposter syndrome also. So many times I'm not good enough, but then talking to your loved ones and talking to your friends, talking to your partner, whoever be it, be your mentor or anything, and addressing this feeling really helps. And I think you should never stop sharing and never stop talking to your loved ones, because they want to be there for you, and please don't ever forget that. So yeah, this is just a little glimpse of how my freelance work and illustration process goes. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something. And this is the end scene where I have added the monkeys and the monk and all. So yeah, I hope you guys liked it and enjoy it. Stay tuned for more new work and comment down below what you would like to see next podcast. Bye guys. Thank you.